Hi, my name is Caitlin Ray, and I'm doing a reaction video for COM263 for GCU, and let's get started. So my reaction to the article. Honestly, I was very surprised by it. It sounded really odd to me as a culture, and I'm not gonna lie, I found out that it was talking about American culture because I was so weirded out, honestly, by that article and who these people were that I actually looked it up afterwards and discovered that it was actually American spelled backwards, and then realized that the rituals they were talking about were like brushing your teeth and going to the salon and even using the bathroom. I heard one person say that the shrine box was a toilet and that people would go to every day, which it was just kind of funny after I realized that, like how silly I felt, just because that's my culture. I'm an American and that's how it was being described. And so I just thought it was interesting that you can totally influence how someone thinks of a culture based on the way you phrase something. And I'm sure that was the author's intention with that. So I thought that was really interesting and unexpected. Just things talking about changing women's body sizes and stabbing things into people's teeth, talking about dentists, and just things that were phrased so out of this world when they're really just everyday things that happen in our country. So I just thought the way things were phrased were really interesting. And then a common communication pattern or practice or ritual that our country as the United States does that might be perceived differently by an outsider would be standing for the national anthem. That's just something that we've done in our country for decades, and it's just something that's not even strange to an American. When we are at a sports event or whatever it may be that requires the national anthem, we stand, we put our hand over our chest, and guys remove their caps, and that's just not something that's weird. But maybe to another person from a different country like China or South America or Africa or something, that would just not be a common thing. In fact, it might be really strange or weird to them. So I think that this pattern and practice of standing for the national anthem has definitely changed, and unfortunately not in a good way. I mean, we've had recent events where people, especially teams in the NFL specifically, just don't stand for the national anthem, and I think that is a huge disrespect to our country, because that is a failure for people in our country to understand the privileges and blessings and the immense freedom that we have and the rights that we have in this country that people in different countries do not have. And the national anthem it's an anthem to the people who have sacrificed their lives and their hopes and their dreams and their livelihoods and their bodies to our good and our freedom. And I think a lot of people kind of just go through the motions of the national anthem. I know I have been guilty of that several times, just kind of doing the national anthem but not realizing, wow, this is my way of honoring the men and women that have sacrificed everything for me, for my freedom, for me to be able to be here today and do the things that I love, like go to church, for example, as a Christian without fear. That is something that people in other countries cannot do freely. I mean, I went to China 3 years ago, and we had to go to a church that was affiliated with a different country or something. I'm trying to remember it. It was so long ago, but Chinese people could not even enter that church. It was only non-Chinese individuals could go to that church. And that just broke my heart, just realizing that how privileged and blessed I am to go to church every single week for every single year of my life without fear of punishment or of the government or imprisonment. And that is something that I was really awakened to in China, just being amongst Christians there and realizing that they had to be very careful with how they lived their lives. So, but anyways, back to the national anthem. I think it has been very disrespected, and it's really, really sad because it's dishonorable and disrespectful to what has been done for us. And there's this really interesting article that I found by Alan Spiegel and Mark Spiegel. And this was done or created in 1998, so a little bit older, but I thought it was really interesting because it was talking about this individual named Chris Jackson in 1991 who converted to Islam and then went to play for the Denver Nuggets as a professional basketball player. And he refused to stand for the Star-Spangled Banner during one of the games, and it made people furious. And so the NBA suspended him, and he missed a game and lost over $31,000 in his salary just by missing that one game. And he realized, oh, okay, I should probably stand for this. That way I can keep getting my money. So he did that, but then they eventually switched him to another team. And I just thought that was so crazy because that was really not that long ago, but now these teams are being honored and glorified for not standing for a Star-Spangled Banner. And so I just thought that was really interesting. Just this article, who knows how many years ago, I'm bad at math, but this article back then is talking about the dishonor and disrespect that this one individual made to the American flag, and the hate that he got for it was really crazy. And so I just thought that was really interesting, just seeing how our times have changed over the past several decades. And I don't think it's been for the best, unfortunately, but I hope that it can change in the future, and I hope that people will realize what a blessing our country is. And that's not to say that other countries don't have benefits or things that are unique to them, but in regards to the United States, I think that is something that is really special and should not be taken for granted. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video.